Hello.
Welcome to another CCI Live. Hello and welcome to CCI Live, your weekly magazine show packed with news, stories and stuff you really need to know.
But first, I would like to introduce Paul. Welcome to the team, Paul. Now, who are you?
Yes, hi everyone, I'm Paul and I'm a TV and broadcasting student.
Woohoo!
I'm very excited about being here on the show.
Oh, that was very American.
I'm glad we did it properly.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's get on with the show.
We have a lot to get through today, so make sure you're comfortable and snuggled down on your favourite cushion.
Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talk about a number of things, including how to look for student placements and what sandwich years are all about. Also, how to save money and much more. But let's stop talking about what's coming up on the show and actually get on with it.
Now, I'm sure you all agree, we're here for the same reasons. It's about education, learning, and having our educational choices open that doorway to our dream job. So, have you considered thinking about taking a placement year, but you're not really sure what to do about it? Well, at CCI, we want to give you that helping hand. So, we met with Simon Brooks, the faculty tutor for employability.
My name's Simon Brooks. I'm Senior Lecturer in Creative Technologies and I'm the faculty's Employability and Enterprise Coordinator. It's really important that students consider going out on a placement, particularly now. I mean, we've got a situation where we have more students than ever in higher education, so that means more students graduating into a pool of employment which is much smaller because of the current financial crisis. So it's so crucial that students can demonstrate to potential employers that they have more than their degree. So in order to get onto a placement, a student currently has to go through the Creative Technologies Admin Office. And they will get you to fill in some forms. You have to complete a CV. Once you've completed your CV, it will be checked, and if it's not good enough, Kirsty in the admin office will sort of throw it back at you and say, look, you need to do some work on this. Once it's at an acceptable level, Kirsty's a sort of gatekeeper. She will let you through onto the Moodle website, which contains placement opportunities, help, advice, guidance, and there are also people around the faculty and the school that will help you to sort of find placements. The thing that's worth pointing out at this point, and it's really important, is that currently we only have sandwich year or placement years available to students on creative technologies courses, but hopefully as of next year I'm in the process of trying to get this sort of rolled out across the whole faculty so that all students on any course in the faculty will be able to take a sandwich year option. Now that doesn't mean that placements are available for everyone, because the other key thing is that to recognise is that we can't provide placements for students, but we can help students find placements and sort of guide them in the right direction. But really it's up to you to find the placement if you want one. But hopefully that will be available to all students as of next year. If you're in the creative industries, which you guys are, you need to have a good portfolio, which might include a show reel. If you're a game student, computer games, or anything you've been working on. And so, you need to be ready, because it's just like a normal interview process. They're selecting as if you were going for the real job. And it's super competitive. It's not just competitive in the job market, it's super competitive to get placements as well. It's not just the University of Portsmouth students that are looking for placements. Almost every university in the country now are encouraging students to go out on work placements. So there's a limited pool of places, and so lots and lots of students. You could have 300 students applying for one placement. It's hard, but it's worth the legwork, definitely. And the other thing I would recommend that students get to grips with is getting their sort of social media presence professionally up to date. So not just your Facebook, although a lot of students might do a little bit of work and think about that, but getting a good LinkedIn profile up together, getting a presence on Twitter, having a blog, all these sort of things that you can start because when potential employers are looking or looking at applications. They don't just look at the application nowadays, they can guarantee that they will be on Google and they will be looking for you by name, and that can be painful for some students, as you can imagine. If your social media presence isn't fabulous, there could be an issue there. So you need to think about all of that sort of stuff and make sure it's all in place, ready for the next stage, which will probably be interviews and the normal sort of situation when it comes to jobs.
Well, if you want to know more about placements, you can always talk to your course leaders. Beware, there are long-term and short-term placements, so you'll need to go to the right place. For example, long-term, go to your school placement officer. Short-term, go to the faculty placement officer. All details are on MyPort or Moodle.
Coming up next, we have actually got a short item from someone who has gone out and done a placement. So, here is Hannah, a law and business student.
My name is Hannah Penny and my university course is Law and Business. My placement year was based at Disney. I was part of the sales team for Disneyland Paris. We dealt with sort of back office queries rising from bookings, travel agent queries, they couldn't log on to our site, and then I also did a lot of project work. Some of them were quite big projects which were sort of like directly affected on the business, dealing with mainly internet queries and again travel agent queries. The placement office in the business school was the first port of call. They put all of their placements online and then you go through there to apply. So any placements that took your interest, you'd write out a CV like specific to that job role and then send it off to the company. And then a lot of them were also application forms, so they took a lot longer to do. But the main area you went to was the business school. And then you could also look online on websites to see if they had anything that you were interested in. I succeeded by applying to as many as I possibly could. I think the main thing that you can do is just put yourself out there. I then had about 4 interviews with different companies and then 3 specifically with Disney. They call you first for a main interview and then you go back and you have to do a presentation and an Excel test. And then if you succeed in that stage, you have to go back for a final interview, which is when I got offered my job. In terms of my future career, because I'm not really sure what I want to do, I think it's a good step to take as it will give me that experience when I graduate. So it will help me to sort of go to employers and say I've done a year's work experience already, specifically in relating to law, because I'm not sure that's the area that I want to pursue. So I think it will help me a lot in having experience to go to an employer and say, even though this specifically might not relate to the job role, I've still done a year in industry and know what the corporate world is like. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's probably one of the greatest experiences that I've done personally. I think it's so beneficial to understand what the corporate world is like, even if you're not in a massive corporate business like I was. To experience that type of work and job role is definitely one of the most beneficial things you can do for yourself. And it also gives you a different perspective when you come back to university as well on what the work is actually all about. Because in your first and second year you sort of just plod along, and then after doing my year out I know what it is that I want to do and how I need to go about getting it.
Wow, I would love to work at Disneyland.
Like your Mickey Mouse shoes, I do.
I know.
Anyway, it does seem like a lot of fun, as well as quite a bit of learning too. I think placement years are definitely worth it, and I might even start looking around to see what's out there.
There is a lot out there, but now I have something rather important that I would like to talk about. We all love the student life, learning new things, making new friends, but unfortunately there are always money issues.
So, we're here to help stretch those pounds a little further. Here's Richard Pisey, a TV and broadcasting student who used to be a chef with some top tips. Today he is showing us how to make a delicious curry that doesn't put a dent in your wallet.
That's right, it's time for something different, the part of the show with tips and techniques designed to benefit you. This week I'm going to show you an alternative to takeaway by telling you how to make an easy, tasty and most importantly cheap curry using an ingredient you may or may not be familiar with: mutton. Mutton is a meat taken from an adult sheep and has many advantages compared to lamb.
Pound for pound, mutton contains less calories and fat than lamb, but contains far more protein, the stuff that we need to heal ourselves and build muscle. On top of this, it's also far cheaper, making it a perfect addition to a student diet when you've got a hankering for some meaty goodness. Mutton is available from any good halal butcher, something we're lucky to have a lot of in Portsmouth. Just ask for it to be cut into curry-sized chunks.
So the first thing you want to do is brown off your meat. You want to get yourself a good heavy base saucepan on about a medium-high heat. You want to get some oil in there. I'm going to use olive oil because it's pretty low fat compared to other oils. You want to put in about 2 tablespoons of oil into a hot pan. So you want to grab your meat and you want to start adding it into the pan in batches. You don't want to add all of the meat at once because then it'll end up boiling and stewing instead of going nice and brown. And with colour comes flavour.
Once your meat's nice and brown, carefully remove it from the pan and set it to one side. Now it's time to chop your onion. Chop it as finely as you can, because the finer it's chopped, the better the consistency of the sauce will be. Bash some garlic, chop finely. Get a fresh red chilli, half, de-seed, and chop as finely as you can. Get a green chilli. Don't bother to de-seed this one, chop. Now, let's talk spices. All curries rely on a blend of spices which vary from dish to dish to reflect the region it comes from. These days there are dozens of pre-made curry pastes to choose from, and they're an easy way of getting a great authentic flavour. In contrast, you can pick up a good selection of basic spices such as cumin and cardamom from any good spice shop for around £10. These large bags of spices are far cheaper than their supermarket counterparts, will last longer and provide seasoning for dozens of curries before they have to be replaced. Get your pan on a reasonably high heat and add a good glug of oil.
Okay, so I'm going to be using some coriander seeds. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of these. I'm going to be using some cardamom pods, let's say 4 or 5. And I'm also going to be using some fenugreek seeds. It'll be about a teaspoon of them. So you want to be stirring these in the oil, hot oil, for about a minute or so until they start popping and turning brown. Get the onions that you've chopped previously and add them to the pan.
Give it a good stir. Make sure that the seeds are distributed evenly.
So I'm going to use these, they're called black mustard seeds. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of them in there. It really helps to lift the dish.
Add your 2 different kinds of chilli, garlic, and give it a good stir. And now it's time to add some spices.
2 teaspoons ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of hot chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin. Put the tomatoes in now. These are the leaves of an Indian citrus tree. They really help to lift curries and give it that authentic taste. You just want to take them and kind of just roughly crumble them into the dish.
Add the browned meat, top up with water until almost covered, and give it a good stir. Once everything's nicely mixed through, carefully ladle into the ceramic part of the slow cooker. Cover with the lid, set the slow cooker to low, and cook for at least 6 hours. Sprinkle over some fresh coriander, pour yourself a drink, and enjoy.
Thanks for that, Richard. That looks delicious, and I bet the kitchen smelt amazing. Now, as Paul mentioned earlier, in the programme, there is a place within the university that is there to help you with all your placement worries and concerns, as well as any questions you have about your future career, or maybe if you just need help writing your CV. The Purple Door is a great place to start looking for the answers to all your questions. And luckily for you, I have Paul Barnes here, who just so happens to work at Purple Door. So, Paul, What is Purple Door Careers and Recruitments?
Okay, the Purple Door Careers and Recruitment is essentially the university's career service, and every university has a service like ours. Our role really is, in a few words, just to help students plan out what they want to do after their course, but also to put that plan into action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how can working with part-time while studying help students?
Okay, I suppose people would always say it's the money. You know, students get a part-time job during the term to help financially. But the important thing there is to think about the other benefits that you get from working part-time. Now, something we get from employers of graduates all the time is they really look for people that have got good communication skills, they can work well in a team, they can solve problems, they can think quickly and so on. And students will get all these sorts of things from working part-time during the term. The other thing is it actually gives them some concrete evidence of the skills they've got. And another thing, when people are applying for jobs, employers always say, well, okay, you say you've got these skills, but where's the evidence? And if people have done volunteering, part-time working and so on, they can actually point to evidence on their record, on their CV that they've got these skills.
Brilliant. So what sort of part-time jobs are available for students locally?
Okay, very wide range. There are obvious things, retail, catering, hospitality industry and so on. We've got a gun wharf nearby, we've got Commercial Road and Southsea shopping centres and so on. So things in shops, offices, catering industry, cleaning. The university itself does actually employ a number of students in part-time roles. We recruit people at various times of the year to work part-time, the university's marketing department and so on. So yeah, very wide range.
Brilliant. How does the Purple Door part-time job services work?
Okay, we've got a jobs board. It's very easy to use and people can log in just using a university login. They can look at the jobs that have been advertised on there. We've advertised, I'd say, over 3,000 jobs in the past 12 months. There's a fairly sort of wide range and a big number of jobs there. Students can log in, look at the details and apply for those that they're interested in.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, I mean, why is volunteering useful for students and what opportunities are there?
Okay, well, volunteering, a bit like working part-time, it does give people a chance to acquire skills that employers will look for or develop ones that they came to university with. It gives them a chance to again get some concrete evidence that they can present to employers. I suppose one of the negative sides of volunteering is that on the whole it's unpaid, by its very definition. Some organisations may offer expenses and so on, but it is generally unpaid. But it does give people a good opportunity to get some experience. A lot of employers will look for, especially in things like the health and social care, education sectors. Anyone wants to work in those professions, and volunteering is a really good thing to consider.
I suppose it's like you can't really get any work without experience, but you can't get experience without work, I suppose, kind of.
Yeah, and sort of getting involved in volunteering, work experience, part-time jobs while you're at university does give people a chance to start to build that portfolio of evidence that they can go to employers with in the future.
Cool, brilliant. What sources can students use to find jobs after graduation?
Okay, we've got the internet now, so over in the centre we find ourselves talking about the internet all the time, recommending various websites that people can use. Some of those will cover jobs in specific regions, South, Midlands, London and so on. Some will be specific to particular professions or occupational fields that we can recommend in sales, accountancy, science and so on. But there's also, of course, the traditional media, local, national newspapers, job centres are worth using. They don't get very many graduate vacancies, but there's no harm in using them.
Brilliant.
And of course, commercial recruitment agencies worth considering as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I've learnt quite a lot about placements myself now and where I need to go and what to do to get started. Here at CCI TV, we want to make sure that you're making the right choices when it comes to university and your chosen course. And to make sure that you're on the right path, we wanted to speak to someone that's finished their degree and has started to make their mark on the world. We met a graduate who is already working in his chosen career. So let's meet Jack.
My name's Jack Bowden and I'm a paramedic. The main thing that drew me towards the job was the fact that I'm doing something a little bit different every day. I don't go in dreading to go into work because I don't really know what I'm going to encounter. There are a lot of routine jobs that we do, but even them, just socialising, going helping an old gran, picking her up the floor, some people might say that's boring, but sometimes that can be quite rewarding, as well as the really significant jobs, the nasty traffic accidents where you're really helping somebody in that respect. There's a lot of variety, and I think that's really what drew me towards the job. At uni, I did a course called Paramedic Science. It's a foundation degree, and it's sort of it revolves, you've got sort of half the time you're out on the road with the ambulance service, and the other time is spent in the classroom doing lectures and in the sort of simulation lab. We were encouraged very early on in the course to start looking for work. The course started in September, and by January we were already out on placement. We're working with the people who we're looking to get jobs for, and you, like I say, you're sort of talking to them, you meet them, and unless you've made a bad name for yourself through, then you're in a position where you can apply for a job quite easily once you finish the course. I tried to set myself apart from other applicants, really by getting my name about in the service, making myself known to people, making a few friends in there. We're also always looking for any sort of top-up courses that were available, any extra training, anything like that. It all helps. I'm always looking to further my career. There are plenty of ways I can do it. I'm looking at moving abroad. There are plenty of opportunities as a paramedic working abroad. And I'm also looking into, at the moment, what they call a hazardous area response team. Deals a lot in dealing with major incidents, terrorist threats, and a few sort of areas of treating patients in areas that are difficult to get to. So it could be people who've fallen down a cliff, down a well, a whole variety of situations. I think my advice to undergraduates looking for a job after university, the most important thing is get your name about to people in the trade, make yourself known. At least then, either if jobs come available or if they're looking to fill a vacancy, then, your name's going to be there or thereabouts. Other things, get on any sort of work experience courses you can, because, just having a degree in itself isn't necessarily going to get you a job. They're going to want somebody with a little bit of experience. I mean, that was especially the case in mine, is you need to sort of have a bit of hands-on experience, if you like. For me, this course worked out incredibly well. I came to uni, I worked hard, got my rewards at the end, and I ended up in a job. I'd recommend this for any other students, people who are looking to come to university. It's a great way to do it. I think sometimes it's not going to end up perfectly, you're not just going to go straight into a job, but as long as you're there, putting the effort in, making yourself known, it can end up remarkably well.
Thanks, Jack. But on a serious note, when you are having a night out, make sure you always have your drink with you. And if you put it down or take your eye off your drink, do not go back to it. You never know who could have been near it or what they could have put in it. Well, hopefully we have given you lots to think about now regarding placements and about your career after university. But now it's time to get back to here and now and see what's been happening in and around Portsmouth. So, Paul, why don't you start by letting us know what has been going on in the local news?
Thanks, Natalie. There's been great news for CCI TV. The last academic year came to an end in May. However, the CCI TV team and the students were still working hard. On the 1st of June, the team successfully broadcast a live 4-hour show which was shown live on the BBC big screen in Guildhall Walk, as well as being broadcast around the university and online. The show was recognised not only by local people, but by the industry as well, with many articles appearing on various websites. During the live show, they featured a number of different shows and, of course, the very popular fashion show. The whole event took place in the Eldon building, which helped to showcase the work done here to staff and students from different courses. So a big well done, guys. The bar has now been set to make it bigger and better this year, and I'm sure I speak for everyone here in the studio when I say, challenge accepted. Well, that's all from the news. Now, if you are looking for something to do over the next few weeks, here are a few events that are happening in Portsmouth. From the 1st to the 31st of October, Blackwell's Bookshop will be showing an exhibition which shows the elements from the recent Off the Shelf exhibition which was featured at Southsea Library. On Monday the 8th of October, an English alternative rock band, Young Guns, who formed in High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire in 2003, are playing in the Wedgwood Rooms on Albert Road. Tickets are £12.50 each. On the 9th of October, Portsmouth Film Society are showing The Great White Silence, which was made in 1924. The film will be shown at 8 p.m. in the Omega Centre. Well, that's all from me with the local news and events. Now back to Natalie in the studio.
Thank you, Paul. I think I might have to check out a few of those venues myself. For all of the information about CCI TV and today's show, please click onto our Facebook page using the link shown below, facebook.com/CCI channel. Now, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our show now, but we've got a great way to start off the weekend. Chris Burford. He's a first-year music and sound technology student who has been playing and making music for about 10 years. He's going to play his song, The Losing Game. So, thank you for tuning in this week and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Now, take it away, Chris.
Brown eyes and wavy, yeah, what are you doing with me? You're messing with my mind. We gotta go inside where we can always hide, and we won't ever miss a thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is you belong with me, but no one else could see that we were meant to be. Just you and me, and we can write a destiny. But you said no to my face, and you carried on walking my way. But I swear that I told you that you would never miss a thing. See what you wanted to say, because I never dreamed of letting you down. I guess it's my fault this time, but I won't take the blame. If I win you on fight, because you deserve every right to hold on and be strong. No, I won't let you win what you've already lost. When I guess you can see that it was all in the past, I'd never take it back, because the things that I lack, they keep me coming back for more. Coming back for more. You said it's a Friday night and I'm losing my mind next to a guy who thinks his song is simply better than mine. I've only given the truth, that's what you told me to do. So I guess it makes me crazy, cause I'm talking to you. You said no to my face, and you carried on walking my way. But I swear that I told you that you would never miss a thing. See what you wanted to say, because I never dreamed of letting you down. I guess it's my fault this time, but I won't take the blame. If I win you on a fight, because you deserve every right to hold on and be strong. No, I won't let you win what you already lost. What you've already lost. But you said no to my face when you carried on walking my way. But I swear that I told you that you would never miss a thing. See what you wanted to say, because I never dreamed of letting you down. I guess it's my fault this time, but I won't take the blame. If I win you on fight, because you deserve every right to hold on and be strong. No, I won't let you win. I won't let you win. I won't let you win. No, I won't let you win what you've already lost. What you've already lost. You lost the losing game.